Hello, I am Barendipitous, and today we're going to talk about a rather unexpected, but at least to me, exciting announcement that Blue Mammoth Games gave today. Well, I'm recording this on the evening of October 16th. This video will probably be up the day after, though. But yeah, Brawlhalla, the card game. So this is the announcement on the Brawlhalla website. Basically, this whole video, I'm going to be going over all the information that we can glean from, the announcement, public information, everything like that. And also, I am a bit of a nerd in many ways, not just for Brawlhalla lore, but also for board games. And I actually own several fighting board games that simulate like fighting games or the genre games in the fighting game genre in board game form. So I'm honestly, I'm like the perfect audience for this. But this also looks really cool for anyone who is a fan of Brawlhalla as well. So I'm going to go into everything that we know that I was able to find so far. Okay, so this is the announcement here. We're just gonna go through all of this. So bring the arena to your table. Brawlhalla, the card game. 2 to 4 players, 20 to 40 minutes. That's a fairly short. That's a shorter board game. Usually, I've my board game collection is fairly extensive. It covers like a whole wall in my game room. But I usually consider board games to be short if it's like 30 minutes or less. Medium length is usually about like 30 to 60 minutes, and long is more than an hour, essentially. So this seems like a short to medium length game, depending on how you play it, which is great. Ages 8 and up, obviously. But yeah. There's a couple things on the box. You see all these characters. We'll get into that in a moment. There's the Ubisoft logo, because, of course, Ubisoft is kind of over Brawlhalla. There's this Flyos logo here, which I will go into that in a bit. And then there's some text down here which says something, a game designed by, I can't quite get that name. So I don't know. Unfortunately, at least not right now, I haven't been able to like find that name, like figure out what that name is and like be able to search it or anything. If I do figure that out through this video, then I'll definitely search it, because when something like this happens, I like to see what the previous work has been done by the people behind it, right? We know Blue Mammoth Games pretty well as a company and like the game Brawlhalla, right? But what about the people they worked with to make this happen, right? Because this game is not something, I'm guessing this game was not something that was just made by the Brawlhalla devs. I think the Brawlhalla devs collaborated with some board game designers and board game publishers and producers to make this happen. Kind of like how they collaborated with Dark Horse to create the graphic novel, right? Dark Horse is a big name in graphic novel and comic book publishing, and they were able to work with them through the Ubisoft connection. So, what does this announcement tell us? The Brawlhalla Arena comes to the tabletop, and it shows what the game looks like. I'll show you. There'll be another page later that shows more. Brawlhalla has been the ultimate stage for epic brawls for over 10 years and 125 million players. Now, for the first time, Maestro Media and Flyos bring the Brawlhalla experience to the tabletop in Brawlhalla the card game, launching November 18th, 2025 on Kickstarter. Follow the campaign now at brawlhalla.com/card game, and I will look at that in a moment. It goes on. This strategic, fast-paced card game combines the same style of combat from the video game with the tactical and action-packed card play that is ideal for families, friends, and competitive gamers. Perfect for 2 to 4 players, Brawlhalla the card game is a test of wit. Choose your legend and compete to be the last survivor in the arena. I want to point out a couple things before going on. First of all, when you hear something like Brawlhalla the card game, some of you might be thinking about a trading card game like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic, Lorcana, things like that. Riftbound is coming out, whatever. This is not a trading card game. Looking at this, I can absolutely confirm this is. It is a card game because almost all of the game components, the things you play with, are cards, with some very few exceptions. Sorry, it's a little cold in here. I'm good. I think I also just ate some ice cream. Anyway, You do mostly play with cards, but this is a standalone board game. Something you would put on your board game shelf, take it out, and everything is there. This is not a trading card game. This is basically a board game, essentially, but card game, whatever, right? So, if you're hoping for a trading card game, sorry, unfortunately that's not the case here. But still, I think this is pretty cool. Another thing I want to point out is the way that this is being marketed, and also just the way that like looking at some of the cards in the Kickstarter site, I can tell that this is not going to really focus on lore at all, for what I can tell. Apart from like a basic introduction of the characters in the game, kind of like to give you a sense of Hattori as a ninja, the blood of a demon, all that kind of stuff. Bodvar, Viking, half Bear Father, ended the Giant Wars, burst into Brawlhalla. These very, very basic things, right? And honestly, as much as I would love to, and maybe there might be some bits of lore incorporated in some of the game design here and there, which I love seeing that. But even if there isn't, it seems like, honestly, I'm okay with that, because the purpose of this game seems to be more trying to translate the general feel of playing a game in Brawlhalla, the video game, and putting that experience on tabletop. You can kind of see here. Can I zoom in a bit? Oh gosh. Come on. There we go. If we zoom in on this picture here, you can see that the way that this is laid out, you see 4 different players. You've got someone playing Hattori, Bodvar, Nyx, and probably Orion over there. You see little figurines, little 3-dimensional figurines. And you see the stage, the map with platforms and everything like that. These are all like represented by cards, and basically your position on the platform and on the stage is determined by where your miniatures are, and you got these damage cards and everything like that. This is essentially trying to translate that feel of like playing a quick fun match in Brawlhalla and putting that on the tabletop, on your table as a board game, a card game, whatever. I think that's great. Don't necessarily need lore for that. Again, would be great, but that seems to be the focus here. They're not trying to translate Brawlhalla, the fictional world of Valhalla and the Legends, into a card game. They're trying to translate the experience and feel of Brawlhalla, the video game, into a card game. That's what I'm getting from this. Moving on. Brawlhalla, the card game component. So from what we can tell, this is what's going to be in the box. 6 Legends cards, 120 action cards, 20 per legend. So each legend is going to have a deck of 20 cards to represent, I guess, their actions or things like that. 6 double-sided weapon cards, 12 KO cards, and I believe that will represent the number of KOs you get. So if you have 4 people, you need 3 KOs to win, and we do see that in a later source. So 12 for those. 12 times 4. 28 double-sided terrain cards. That's probably what the map is, right? It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so it's a 4x7 grid of cards right here. So that's the 28 double-sided terrain cards. I'm noticing some of them have like platforms on the bottom of them, and some of them don't. All right, here, let me zoom in once again here. You'll see some of these have platforms on the bottom of the card, and some of them do not. So I'm guessing these are going to be interchangeable, so you can kind of change the stage however you want, essentially. If you want to have a gap in the middle, if you want to, it doesn't have to just be the way that Brawlhaven is. You can make pretty much whatever stage you want by flipping over certain cards for the platforms. I'm guessing. Again, a lot of this is speculation, but what I'm saying is cool so far. 6 legend standees. 4 standees are probably referring to the little miniatures. 4 damage tokens, 4 flaming sword tokens. That would be the thing that like the flaming sword you grab, you can get a weapon, right? 4 aid tokens and 1 rulebook, 16 pages. Choose your legend. You see all 6 legends here: Hattori, Bodvar, Yumiko, Orion, Mordex, and Nyx. And actually, these look like the legend cards here. It's kind of hard to read with the resolution of this image here. But this might give us a clue into some of the abilities they have. Because I'm noticing, at least on here, so each player has a deck of 20 cards, right, for the legend. But there's also a larger legend card, right? And that seems to be the like the special ability that legend has. I would guess based on other games I've played, kind of like this, or like that simulates fighting games. Hattori says, let's see, adds 1 to the value of each of your cards used to move. Okay, adds 1 to the value of each of your cards used to move. So I think that means you might be spending cards to move around, and so this adds 1 to that value. So I guess Hattori is a little bit faster. All right, cool. Bodvar, oh gosh, there's a lot of text here. During light combats, when you are something afterward, place your first stamp down, and I'm sorry, this resolution is not very good. Yumiko, when you choose something during a delay action, draw 1 additional card. Okay. When you choose something during a delay action. Okay, maybe they're just to kind of simulate the moment to moment decisions that you make. There's probably going to be different kinds of actions like moving, dodging, delaying, things like that. Orion, this is hard to see. During light combat, something legend is an something. When this legend is on an empty space, defense cards gain 1 or something like that. I'm not sure. Mordex, your legend enters the arena equipped with something and can be disarmed. Equipped with comes equipped with something. Could be the gauntlets. It looks like rippers or something like that. I don't know. Or could refer to or like reapers. I'm not sure what that word is. And then Nyx, after a successful defense, draw 1 card. Okay. So anyway, again, probably leaning a little more into gameplay, maybe a little bit of lore into the special abilities. I was hoping to be able to read that a little bit better, but oh well. We will get more information later, so that's fine. There's a few more components. Remaining components: the playable area of 20 arena cards made of platform and airspaces. Oh, okay, so this is different. 28 double-sided terrain cards. It must be different from what we were seeing. So wait, what? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, weird. Okay. The playable area of 20 arena cards made of platform and airspaces. 4 flaming sword tokens, which I guess we already had here. Might be a mistake here. I'm not sure. Anyway, this also talks about 3 game modes in this card game. The Discovery mode, which allows you to play with a shared deck of action cards. So I'm guessing what this means is, let's say you are playing against somebody else, and there is just 1 deck of cards that both of you draws from, essentially. So you're both using the same resources. I'm guessing. The Blitz mode, which has no KO cards, 1 KO and it's game over, making this mode extremely fast and exciting. So this really is like a sudden death kind of thing. And then the Classic mode, so the normal mostly intended mode of play for longer, more strategic games where each legend can be knocked out up to 3 times. So the first one to get the last one standing, I'm guessing, wins. Also, it mentions Kickstarter backers will unlock exclusive content, early bird rewards, and even more Brawlhalla legends as the campaign's milestones are smashed. Follow the campaign at brawlhalla.com/card game for more information on Brawlhalla, the card game. Look forward to the Brawlhalla World Championship Expo 2025 in November, where we'll have a live gameplay and a trailer showcasing what's in the box. So in BCX, they're going to talk more about this the Brawlhalla, the card game. And when you follow the Kickstarter campaign and pledge, meaning when you pledge money to the Kickstarter, you will get this Bodvar pin, which is awesome. Basically, yeah, just his signature. He's got if you've seen fancy pins before with the silver lines and everything like that, you know what's going on. Especially if you've seen other Brawlhalla pins, I think this is very similar to that. The same kind of quality. Anyway. I spent 13 minutes on that. Sorry about that. Or 14 minutes. But still got some more stuff to talk about. So that's all great. This is fantastic. November 18th, we'll see more. We already have some sense of maybe what this game might be about. You're basically playing Brawlhalla on your tabletop, which I think is really cool. But the Kickstarter page, if you go to brawlhalla.com/card game, it will take you to this Kickstarter page, which is currently not launching right now because it's launching on presumably November 18th, right? So you can notify your, on launch. There's 226 followers, people watching this campaign. It doesn't say how much it will cost, unfortunately. So I am definitely going to be looking out for that. But anyway, yeah, shows Brawlhalla the card game. A lot of the same images that we saw. Free Bodvar pin, choose your legend. It kind of goes briefly into each of the legends. This is probably one of the shortest little lore blurbs that we see. So Hattori, master swordswoman who traded blood with the demon to fight Kajima, freed her sisters and now fights in Brawlhalla. And all of them have a similar description. Something, something, they came from this, they did this, they're in Brawlhalla, essentially. Cool. And now we have these little gameplay trailers, okay? Unfortunately, I haven't found a way to pause any of these, so you're just gonna have to. And I was hoping to be able to pause them and do a moment by moment analysis and everything. Actually, am I able to pause? Nope, I can't. Nope. Gosh dang it. If there's a way to do that, I wasn't able to find it in the little bit of time I tried. But you can kind of see, at least in this first one, it's demonstrating, I'm guessing, so it says deal damage with light attacks. So we see Hattori playing a card, and then Bodvar playing a card, then Hattori playing another card, adding to the damage in response, and her 6 total defeats Bodvar's 5 total. And I guess that, I don't know if that means that she deals 5 damage, or maybe that just means that she wins and deals damage to Bodvar or something like that. Not sure. But it sounds like there's going to be this kind of back and forth going on when at least in terms of light attacks. You put a card down, your opponent puts another one down, you can put one in response, something, things like that. How that exactly is going to work, I'd be very interested to know. When will that stop? How, what's the trade-off between playing a low numbered card or a high numbered card? I wonder if there might be a little bit of trick taking elements of this as well. Like standard trick taking card games where you try to play certain cards to win the trick or win the round essentially, and others can maybe play in response, that kind of thing. So that's that. That's kind of cool. So that's I think that's a really fun way to sort of simulate the back and forth of light attacks, right? One thing what I love about board games is that they're very good at simulating things. I mean, they're perfect for simulating experiences, and that's what this game is trying to do: simulate the Brawlhalla experience. This is simulating, basically giving a board game feel to light attacks. Next, it talks about heavy attacks. So here, I don't know exactly what all is going on here. Most of the focus is on these little standees being knocked around and everything. But sounds like, and again, it's hard to know exactly what all is happening here because I can't quite pause to see what the cards say. But it seems like heavy attacks are going to be like the knockout ones, right? You see it. This is apparently doing enough damage or moving Hattori enough to actually knock her off the arena and score a KO or something. Although I'm a little confused because it shows Hattori playing a card or something. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure, but we'll find out. And it looks nice. Looks kind of cool. So light attacks, heavy attacks, and then it just says 3 knockouts and the victory is yours. I do love they're using that that sort of nuke image to show that you basically won. It looks like there's some effects that happen when you get points for knockouts, and that's the end of the page. So that's kind of cool. If I can find a way to pause those videos, that would be great. Maybe I'll do a follow up if I'm able to do that. Just the way that those video files are is kind of strange, but there will be gameplay trailers in the future and whatever. We can pause those and look at that. So that's all very cool. I'm honestly really looking forward to this. I think this is going to be awesome. Looking at this box, looking at the picture of this box, it looks like it's going to be a big one. I imagine a larger box, but all the components are not that big. I mean, okay, yeah, it looks like the box is big, but it doesn't look like there's many components here. So I don't know if they're just sort of like not actual size kind of thing. I'm a little confused about that because if these are all the components, then you probably only need a box maybe like a quarter of that size. Um, so I'm personally not too worried about that because by my experience, the only times that usually when a box for a board game is bigger than most of its components, it's usually because the instruction booklet is like bigger like than anything else, right? The instruction booklet's only like 16 pages total. That seems normal. Anyway, it's a board game. I'm excited for it. So now I wanted to take a few moments to kind of go into the two companies that Blue Mammoth Games is working with. Okay, so they mentioned Flyos. Okay, let's look at that first. This is the Flyos Games website. I don't know a lot about either of these companies. I don't know exactly what what role they have in all of this. I'm guessing maybe someone from Flyos helped to like design the board game in design the gameplay in collaboration with Brawlhalla. But just kind of like how for the comic book with Dark Horse, a couple of artists like so Matt Woomer and two people from Brawlhalla. Sorry, I'm drawing blanks on names. Two people from the Brawlhalla team, or formerly from the Brawlhalla team, were working with a couple of people like who work with Dark Horse, right? I'm guessing something similar happened where people from Blue Mammoth Games went over to like Flyos and Maestro Media to collaborate on this. So what are some other games that Flyos has made? Well, first of all, Rayman the board game. Any Rayman fans, you'll probably be pretty happy about this. This is simply raymanboardgame.com. If you want to know more information, it doesn't look like this is out now yet because it says pre-order, but you can see, board game trailer, designer overview, that kind of thing. But yeah, we're seeing Vampire the Masquerade, Werewolf the Apocalypse, Survive Until Daylight. They seem to it seems like they've designed some of their own board games, but also have worked with other IPs as well. So that is encouraging. This Brawlhalla is not their first rodeo. That's great. Maestro Media. This is the company that actually is posting this Kickstarter. You can actually click on Maestro Media here to see what other Kickstarter campaigns they have done. They created 6 of them, and you can see here we have a Clash of Clans board game that was funded, a Smurfs role-playing game, like Dungeons and Dragons, tabletop role-playing game type thing. Well, yeah, just that style of play. That's also funded. These are all like 1,000% funded. Hello Kitty Day at the Park, Tabletop Experience, Sally Faye Strange Nightmares. All of these over 1,000% funded. Then we have Brawlhalla the card game, and apparently they're also working with Disney on some other tabletop game as well. Disney Afternoon Rewind. Oh, that looks cool. It looks like VHS cases or something. Anyway, so that's good. That is definitely encouraging. They seem to know what they're doing. This is their About Us page. You can see like their core values, some of the their newsletter talking about the things that they've worked on, their team and everything like that. So it's not 100% clear. Like I guess they're like a board game company, or like they at least work with like other people to make board games. Yeah, Binding of Isaac, the 2001 Space Odyssey. They've helped make those games as well. Games based on those also. But yeah, and then just kind of Instagram posts, I guess, that they have their latest board game innovations and all that. So anyway, even though as much as I consider myself a bit of a board game aficionado, I have never heard of Flyos or Maestro Media before this. But based on what I've seen, I'm not really worried about anything. And I also know that the developers at Blue Mammoth Games do definitely it's like they care a lot about Brawlhalla, the characters, the lore, the gameplay, everything. And they would want to make sure it if it is translated to another medium of some kind, whether it be graphic novel or board game or something, they would want to make sure it's done right. So I really look forward to seeing more information about this. I guess a month from now. It sounds like, again, November 18th was when it releases on Kickstarter. I've backed a number of Kickstarters over the years, so everything I've seen on the Kickstarter page is kind of par for the course. A little bonus, a little bonus like the Bodvar pin. You know, being aware of the Kickstarter, like, you know, weeks or a month or so, like weeks in advance and everything. So yeah, this looks awesome. This is fantastic. I really look forward to learning more about this, and if when I will probably definitely be getting this, and maybe show it to you guys if I get the opportunity. So I have a couple other videos to kind of conclude. I'll say a couple other videos I have in mind here to make. I want to. So this is all that we know about the Brawlhalla the card game for now, right? But I also wanted to take some time to make some separate videos talking about other board games that are based on fighting games, or at least basically fighting board games that I own and that I am aware of, that I think are really cool, just so you guys can get a sense of how other board game designers have tackled this problem, or this challenge of trying to translate fighting game mechanics or fighting game feel into a tabletop experience. There are lots of really cool ways to do it, and I will show that with various games in a few videos. So, yeah, that's all from me. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and until next time, all the best.